concept is called force.com site. Okay, so there are a few things that we need to do here. First of all, you need to register a subdomain, okay, on force.com. You'll need to have your own subdomain. If I'm talking about creating a site using Salesforce, then I need a web address. Every website has a web address, right? abcd.com, flipkart.com, amazon.com, right? So they need a particular web address. If I want to display some details, what I need a web address. Okay, so Salesforce is even if you do not have a web address, you can actually register for a subdomain on force.com. Okay. Subdomain will be like your company.force.com. Okay, so you can put your company name here. Your site becomes available here. Your company can be anything, whatever name you want to put, your preferred name .force.com, right? So first thing that you'll have to do is you just need to see that if this address is available and then register it. Okay, give me a minute, let me log in into Salesforce and show it to you how it works. Okay, even before I show you, let's understand the process. So first thing, I will register this. Secondly, I will create a Visualforce page. Okay, and on the Visualforce page, we will control what do we want to display, what data and all that stuff. That's something which needs to be controlled on the Visualforce page. And step 3 will be allowing the Visualforce page on the site. That's the third step that needs to be done. All right, so first is register a subdomain on force.com, then create a Visualforce page, and then allow the Visualforce page on the site. That's it. So we already have a few Visualforce pages. I'll just pick one of them and work with it. First of all, we'll register the site. So first step, we are gonna register the site. How do you do that? Go to setup, uh, develop sites. Okay, so you just need to go to setup, develop sites. See, this is the registration process. I told you this thing, my company.force.com, that's what you'll have to take. So that's fine. All that we have to do is we just have to take the site from here. So I can try and put whatever name I want. July 2015. Okay, Because there's a developer edition, this is going to be the complete URL, but if you are using an enterprise edition or any other edition, it's going to be just your company name .force.com. You can check availability. If it's available, it's available. All right, so this will become the complete URL of the site. Read and accept the force.com site terms of use, register my force.com domain. So this will create your force.com domain. Now this becomes your domain from here till here. This is your domain. All right. So first of all, I need to registered. So this is the address where your site will be available. So registering, it might take a minute or two. Done. So this is my site. I've registered my site. Now here I can create pages. So this is more like a website, and then you can create your pages. Okay, so this is like a domain and these are the sites. So if you see here mycompany.force.com, and these can be sites on that. So just click on new and create a site or a page basically. So that page has to be a Visual Force page. So let me just pick any of the Visual Force pages that we have done. Um, okay, V16. Let's say this is the page that I want to display to public, or V17. So let's say V17 or V18, whichever page I want to display. So for that, I'll just need to go here and click on new. Site label and name can be anything. Accounts, site. Okay. And you'll have to give the complete address of it. So you can call it accounts. So after domain slash and the name of the page. Okay. Active site homepage has to be your Visual Force page. So this is where you just do the lookup and pick the Visual Force page that you want to display. So V17 is what I was searching. Okay, that's it. So the Visual Force page that you want to display here has to be the active site homepage. Inactive site homepage is when the site is not active. At that time, what page needs to be displayed. So there is a default template in maintenance page that will be displayed. If you want some custom page to be displayed there, you can change this, but I'm not changing that. And finally, all that you have to do is you just need to make sure that your site is active. Make the site active. Okay, save it. That's it. Now all your customers, people who do not even have the login ID, password, or people who do not have access to your Salesforce environment can see this page. Okay. uh, Preview as admin. Okay, I'm gonna share now. You guys don't have access to my account, right? Can you just click on this link and see if you are able to see the data? You are an external user for my developer account, right? Can you just click on the link and see if you can see the data and everything? Let's quickly check. Cannot see data. That's what Rohit says. Who can see data?
No, we can't see.
Okay. So there is a small logic. You can see the page, right? So page has been made public, which means anyone who has the link will be able to see the page.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Data is still not public. So for to display the data, I'll have to make the data also public. Okay, so there is a small setting that we have to do here. While you have saved the site, you just have to go and say public access settings. Got it? So this is where you control what data should be displayed on that page. Okay. Now what data we need to display on that page? Which object? This data comes from which object? For this page V17, the data is coming from which object? Anyone? Sorry?
The accounts,
Account.
account.
Right. So it's basically coming from the account object, right? So if I want people to see this data, which object I'll have to give the permission on? Account, right? And what level of permission do I need to give? Read, write, edit, delete. What level of permission is required?
Public access.
Public
We have
access
to give the
setting.
public access, right?
Public access will have to give, but what level of access I need to give? Read, write, edit, or delete.
Okay.
Which one? Read or write or edit or delete?
I think it's just read.
If I give a read access, people will be able to see it, right?
The view level.
Yeah, read basically. Okay, so that is the thing. So in case I want people to see that accounts data, the minimum access that they need is a read access. Even if I give a write access, that's fine, but minimum is a read. Okay, so I just need to go to public access settings and control this permissions here. So just go ahead and click on edit towards the end. If you remember that profile wala thing, um, in the profile we give the access and all, the same way you come here and give the access for this page. See, right now the account access is 0. There's no read access here. You can give a create access also, but that's not required for my page. People are not creating records there. They are just going to view the record data. Okay. So if I give a read access, that should solve my problem. Save it. Okay. Now just go and refresh your page and see if you can see the data now. Do you get the data now?
Yes, it we are. I'm able to see all the data.
Now you can see the data. How about others? Anyone else? So we have given the permission now. Now the data has been allowed. So while you're creating a site, you just have to keep this thing in mind that what data is being displayed on my site or on my Visual Force page. You just have to go to the public access setting and see what you actually want the end user to do. You just want them to see the data or you want them to create the data for which object, and then you just need to go and give the permission accordingly. That's it. Till the time you don't allow that, they will not see the data. Now for this page, uh, so see, this is though this is a site, but still it has a default look and feel of the Salesforce, this header and all this stuff. So ideally, while you are creating this kind of a page, you should try and turn off the sidebar and the header. So let's say sidebar equals false and show header equals to false, because you don't want them to see this page as a Salesforce Visual Force page or something like that, right? You just want them to see it uh, like a normal web page, right? And you can have your own design or maybe company's logo or whatever details you want. Okay, so it should not have that Salesforce look and feel. So now I've updated that. See, the header is gone. All right. Tell me if you have any questions or doubts here. Okay. So that's about force.com site. So that's how it needs to be done. All that you have to do is register a subdomain. Okay. For a company. On developer edition, you will be allowed to create only one site on the subdomain. We are currently using a developer edition. It allows only one site. On an enterprise edition, you can create up to 25 sites. Okay. So kind of a complete business process, or kind of a shopping cart kind of a model can run on this. 25 pages are good enough. I will not say that with 25 pages you can handle big e-commerce, but a standard size or okay size of an e-commerce can also be handled. Got it? 25 sites is a good thing. Like, so a lot of things can be actually controlled online. Okay, clear. Now there is another thing which Salesforce provides you, which is called a customer portal. Okay, what is this customer portal? Customer portal is similar to the sites concept, but this is where you can actually have the portal login ID password and you can give it to your customers. In the site, what is the concept? Site, we are creating an open URL which anyone can access, right? You can see someone else has the link, they can access. So that's more like a website. Portal is where your customers will have the login ID, they will have the password, they can log in and see the details of their own account, or maybe raise a case, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, in that case, what you need to do is you actually need to go ahead and buy the licenses from Salesforce.com. For Force.com site, you do not have any additional expenses. All that you have to do is you just have to go ahead and build the site. Once you have built the site, after that, there is no money involved in, there is no expenditure involved in that. You don't have to pay to anyone. Whatever Salesforce default pricing you are paying, that's it. But with a customer portal, Salesforce gives you additional licenses for your customers. Okay. And for each license, again, there will be a price involved. So if you have 20 customers, Salesforce will give you 20 customer portal licenses, and each portal license, they will charge you a certain amount. The same thing goes for, if there are 50 or there are 100, so they're going to, charge you for that. Correct? Okay. So that's about the customer portal thing. That's how a customer portal works basically. So let's see, how do we enable the customer portal? All that you have to do for a customer portal is enable it. So you just need to go to setup, then go to customize. Okay. So we need to go to setup, and then we need to go to the customize, and under customize we need to go to customer portal, and under customer portal you need to go to settings, click on edit, and say enable customer portal. That's what we need to do. Okay. So by default, customer portal is not enabled for any of the org. In case your company wants to use customer portal, all that they have to do is just go to setup, customize customer portal, enable customer portal. Now, once your customer portal is enabled, what will happen is you will be able to create users for you from your customers. My customers are listed in contacts, accounts and contacts, right? And if I want them to be able to log in, I'll need to create them as users also. Got it? So that's what the logic is. So once you enable this, you will be able to convert your contacts into users. Got it? So just go ahead and click on save, enable the customer portal part. Once it has been enabled, you will have the option of going into a contact and converting that contact into a customer portal user, okay, or an external user. Just give me 1 minute. We'll create an example and see that. See what all users we have here currently. So we just have one user here. Okay. So once you have enabled the customer portal, you can just go to any of the contacts. Let me go to this gentleman, George Davis. This is the contact. I will change the email ID to my email ID so that I receive the email with the login details. Okay, that's it. So since you have enabled the customer portal, when you come to a certain contact, you will see the option of manage external user here, right? So this manage external user, you have the option to enable customer user. Got it? So you can enable it as a customer user. The moment you enable this as a customer user, right now it's a contact. It creates a user with all these details. Okay, and then this guy will receive an email with his login credentials so that he can actually log in into Salesforce. Got it? So all that we have to do is we just have to say enable customer user here. The moment you do that, it automatically starts creating a user for that same contact. Okay, you can just go ahead and click on save. An email with all the detailed instruction about how he can log in, his login ID password will be sent to the email ID. Okay, now Josh Davis, who was just a contact earlier, now is a user also with a customer portal license, obviously, not with an admin permission or something. He just has a customer portal license, so he'll just be able to do certain things, not everything. Like he can view the account and he can actually raise a case, these kind of things. He cannot see the entire data. All right. Now a user has been created for George Davis, and now if I just go ahead and check my email, just give me a minute. Let me check my email. I must have received an email with the login details, which ideally the customer will receive. Okay, here it is. Do you see this? The customer portal login and password information is below. So the customer will receive the login and password information. Okay, now the customer can use this login password information to log in as a customer portal user. All right. So now this man Josh can actually log in. Okay. To log in, he does not need to use salesforce.com. He needs to use a custom URL, which is given in your customer portal. So for customer portal login, the URL is different. Where will we get that URL? We will get it under customize again, under the same portal. Login URL is something that you'll have to give to the customer. Go to customize, then go to the customer portal, go to settings. This is the customer portal. If you click on this, you'll see that there is a login URL available here. So you'll have to take this login URL and you have to give this login URL to the person who needs to log in. So this URL needs to be used for logging in. Let's say I am the customer. I'll use this URL to log in. When I click on this URL, it asks me for the username and password. Username and password has been sent to my email. Username is this. And password is this. So your customer uses this login URL, uses the login ID password received in the email to log in. First time you try to log in, it will ask you to reset the password. Customer portal. Save. Here is the login of the customer portal. So customer logs in into this. He can see the details of the account and he can actually raise cases. Okay, so if the customer wants to create a new case, he can. If he wants to create a new contact, he can. Got it? So the customer will be able to basically log in into the cases and everything from here. Got it? So the customer portal is basically, where you pay to Salesforce and you get kind of a ready-made solution, right? But this solution has one, you have to pay to Salesforce every month for every customer. So if you have 200 customers, you'll have to buy 200 licenses and you'll continue to pay Salesforce, right? Force.com site is where if you initially invest a little money and effort, you can build something which will be available to the end users throughout. They can actually continue to use it. So that's the thing. Tell me if there is any question or doubt. Is it okay? Clear? All right. So that's about the customer portal thing. There's one more concept which I'm going to talk about is a web to lead. Web to lead is a very simple concept on the same lines. Web to lead is in case you want your leads to be created directly from website. So sometimes you might have seen a contact us page on the website. Some websites we go and we find that there is a contact us page available there, right? In the contact us page, uh, what happens is some user can come and enter his name, email, phone, this kind of information, and that contact us page. I'm sorry. And that contact us page, once you fill in your details, that details goes to the company. And then after maybe a day or two, you might receive a call from them that, hey, you came to our website, you entered your information, right? So usually what happens is this data actually gets into the backend database of the website. So when you actually build a website, there's a backend database for that website. So usually this data ideally either goes to the backend database, which is maybe on a SQL server or MySQL, or that contact information is sent through an email to a registered email ID, your company's email ID or somewhere, right? But Salesforce allows us to take that information directly to the Salesforce leads table. Okay, and it's very simple. So anyone who comes to my website, fills in his information, that information can be directly routed to the salesforce.com lead table. Okay, how that is done? It's called web to lead. So very simple to do it. All that you have to do is, okay, I think I'm logged in as this gentleman now. Okay, so for web to lead, all that you have to do is just go to setup, customize leads, and there is this option of set up customize leads, and then go to this web to lead, right? So set up customize leads, web to lead, and here you have to create the web to lead form, right? So just go and click on create web to lead form. Creating web to lead form is pretty simple. You just need to decide on which all fields you need on that form. So this is the form that you would display on your website, right? And what all fields you want the end user to enter. I don't want city and state information. I just want the first name, last name, email, company, and phone information, let's say phone and mobile, whatever. I mean, whatever fields you want to take from that, just need to select those fields. All right, and these all fields are from the leads table. Then define a return URL. Return URL is once they click on the submit button, what is the return URL that they will get to see. So let's put wikitrainings.com. Click on generate. This will generate the code for you, the HTML form code for you. Okay, all that you have to do is copy and paste the sample HTML below and send it to your webmaster. So all that you have to do is you just have to share this with your webmaster. Now the webmaster, the person who is designing the website, will put this code in his website, and he will take care of the styling and everything, so that the styling of this form matches the default styling of your website. All right. So to test it, what we can do is we can just create a notepad. Sorry, we can create an HTML file and test it. Give me a minute. Just for checking it, what we need to do is we just need to go ahead and create a quick HTML file. Yeah. Just for the testing purpose, what I've done, I've put it in a notepad, the code, and then I would save it as HTML. .html. So I'm just saving it as an HTML file. Okay, so that it gets saved as a .html file. Now I can open that HTML file and access that. Here is the file. Okay, so when I open the HTML file, it opens as a form. Whatever information I enter here and click on submit, this will directly go to the leads table. So let me enter email can be searching at alright. And the moment I click on the submit button, it should return the return URL. I mentioned URL as a return URL. So it will take me to that return URL. That's something which it is doing. Second thing, it should go back and enter the data into the leads table. So it's returning the return URL that we can see here. That's fine. Let me go to the leads table and see if the lead actually got created or not. Today's leads. See. Got it? So for me it was just on the HTML, but your website designer can actually put it on the contact us page of your website or whichever page you guys want it. Right? So this web to lead is a very simple thing. Okay, which can be readily created. Exactly the way we have a web to lead, we have another option available, which is called web to case. Similar to web to lead, there is another option which we have is web to lead, and there is something called web to case, which works in the same way. There is no difference. So you can actually go and try web to case on your. So for these two objects, Salesforce by default gives you this option that you can actually enter the data into that. For other things, something which is not a web to lead or something which is not a web to case, for other things you can actually do it on your phone using the force.com sites. So if you want to create accounts or the contacts or something else uh, from the website directly, you can actually use the force.com site for that. Got it? Any questions, please let me know.